Y'all want to know how my life is going? Well, this is to the extent in which I have found myself pledging allegiance to Lord Einzon and what appears to be quite the fashionable statement. So he's going to be our special guest for this video, and probably some other future videos here. So, Lord Eins, have a seat, sir. He's going to be joining us for this rendition of top side deck choices, because navigating our way through the meta is what Kamarabi does best. Let's dig on into this discussion, shall we? Sometimes your waifu happens to be a skeleton and you question the skeletons that you keep in your closet, but to each their own. So, we need to do a side deck discussion video for August. Now, regional season has kind of kicked back off. There are a lot of big things happening right now. I want to talk about the top trends that we are seeing in side decks, along with other things hopefully Lord Eins will approve of. Isn't that right? Okay, so we're seeing we're just going to start some sort of combination of hand traps between what you're not main decking. So we have Ash, Ogre, Droll, and Ghost Reaper. Between the combination of these four, I'm seeing Ghost Bill's only really being main, so we don't really get the chance to see her do anything in the current meta, but Ash, Droll, Ogre, and Reaper. We're starting to see Reaper a lot more, actually. I'm a big fan of Droll, honestly, just because it stops the opponent, like it stops their turn, and then you get your next turn to set up and try to do things. But people are just using Reaper as a means to just cut off access to it and force the opponent to commit. You've got basic preventative action. It's preventative versus force your opponent to make bad plays. You kind of have to pick your poison, honestly, in these matchups, and I don't particularly mind either scenario. Same thing with Ogre. Ogre is kind of seeing the least amount of play between all the hand traps. I definitely, personally, like I said, I prefer Ash and Droll as opposed to Reaper and things like that. Reaper, you have to play a Soul Day in your extra deck, and you kind of take away from your potential powerhouse plays. But once again, it's pick your poison for your side deck choices. So hand traps, to pretty much all degrees, are going to be seeing play in all of these decks. So whether or not it be main or side deck, you have to play hand traps. You can't get away with it. So that's the key point here. Number two, we're seeing Artifact, Scythe, and Sanctum increase play. I don't think two Scythe is, or I don't think two Sanctum, one Scythe is correct. I think 3 Sanctum, 2 Scythe is the best way to go. I've said this in a couple of videos this week. The format has evolved to the point that we don't have to rely on our Scythe getting Chaliced, because Chalice doesn't exist in this current format. If people are looking to Chalice as a side card, I think there's something wrong. So, cheers to Chalice not being in the format. Definitely a much better improvement than what we've had. But chain ability is something that Sanctum has. Back row removal doesn't really, it exists, but it doesn't exist in this format. I think the value in disruptive cards this format has kind of gone down. If anything, they're seeing side deck play at that. But Scythe and Sanctum for preventative measures, once again, your opponent triggers it off, you disrupt your opponent, you smile at your opponent and go, well, shug diddly yucks, that kind of sucks that you triggered my Scythe. So, just kind of 2 cents. The engine can be a bit bricky at times, we all know that, but I think for being a side deck option, there's nothing wrong with it, honestly. I don't think there's really much better options for wanting to lock down the extra deck, so there's that. Number 3 right now. We've started to kind of see the return of Red Reboot. Now, Red Reboot kind of goes hand in hand with Altergeist. It's kind of strange. With the release of Hayate, it's almost like Altergeist got better. And I don't mean that in like a really weird way, but when you look at the way that the meta was going. Altergeist were just gone. And then Pure Sky Striker got better, and Altergeist got better. Isn't that right, Lord Ines? Oh, he doesn't talk, he's a body pillow. How could I forget? But here's the thing. When you are going through your matchups, Siliquito's bounce is ridiculous. Taking out well-timed Kagari, Mellowseek for spot removal. Your Pure Sky Striker match isn't shit. You know, there's a lot that Altergeist has going for it in the current meta, as opposed to a lot of other decks. But when I'm looking at means to say fuck you to that deck, that I don't want to have to deal with it, Red Reboot is the side card that everybody has come to kind of know and love. Now, I don't think, once again, it gets much better than this. What other card can you play from your hand for half of your life points? Shut your opponent off for the turn, make your plays, and continue along with your day. You're not going to find a better alternative than Red Reboot. But if your deck is very fragile to Altergeist and you don't want to risk the biscuit in that matchup, then a lot of people are kind of turning to Red Reboot for that. Literally all the side decks kind of look the same in this format in that regard. Now the next one, this one shouldn't come as any kind of shocker to you guys. It's the big fat testicle sphere mode. Now, sphere mode it's been here since the beginning of the format. A lot of people have gone to Chimera Tech Mega Fleet with Cyber Dragon, but we'll lump that in here with sphere mode. Mega Fleet, you're both using these in the same regard to clear off what your opponent has established, which is the extra link. Both methods are much easier to do it. Cyber Dragon taking a Mega Fleet to do so is one sort of commitment. Sphere mode takes up your core normal summon to literally eradicate what your opponent set up. I don't see any issue with either of these methods. It's just you have to pick the one that goes best with your strategy. Mega Fleet in a deck that could side Cyber Dragons, we've seen it in Trick Stars at Worlds. It was pretty popular. Then, you know, if you're playing something that takes up your committed core normal summon, then you might stray a little bit further away from sphere mode. Once again, you have options available to you, and that's what being aware of what you can do in your deck is. That's the cool part about these discussions. Variance is key. The next one that this one has almost become a staple, I think. Shared Ride. Now, Shared Ride is bonkers for what it does. Every time your opponent adds a card from their deck to their hand, you know, or from the graveyard to the hand, except by drawing, you get to draw a card. Those recurring effects, those Gouki effects, Shared Ride kind of forces your opponent to take a step back from the current game and slow down. And did I mention it's not like other card effects? It's completely chainable. You can just let your opponent start their turn, and you're like, oh, Shared Ride. Chainability is what makes that card really fucking good, honestly. I think the fact that I've seen so many people Twin Twister my Shared Ride when playing Sky Strikers, and they're just like, oh, are you fucking kidding me? It's like, no, sorry, life happens. Like, I cited it in for this matchup for this specific reason, you know. But at the end of the day, I think what we're granted because of Shared Ride existing, slowing down these particular troublesome decks. I think this will be a card, because of Maxi's loss, that we'll probably see again in the future, much like Droll and Lockbird. Droll only gains popularity, it seems, at this current point in time, so I definitely think in the future we'll continue to see things like this. And then the last one, this has also been a staple for pretty much the whole format. Whether it be Twin Twister, MST, Cosmic Cyclone, some sort of back row removal. I think we've gotten to the point to where Twin Twisters has been the one. Zawado. It's the one that we rely on to break these back row. In Sky Strikers, we use it to discard, you know, to take away a little bit of the pressure from the opponent. And I think going forward, we'll probably continue to see some sort of spell trap removal be built into the side decks. But for the most part, it's there. Pretty much everybody in the meta is taking advantage of some sort of spell and trap disruption. The side deck at this current point in time, it's not rocket science or anything. It's just you need to figure out your ratios. You need to figure out what works best for you. And like I said, these are the key ones I've been seeing take place in today's metagame. And of course, Camo Ravi looking out for all of you out there. Whether or not it be pick your hand trap, do you need red reboot, do you need back row disruption, do you need evenly matched? You've got choices for you there. So it's definitely pick your poison, essentially. So, well guys, that's all I got for this video. Please don't question the things I do in my spare time or my sanity, and just always appreciate. You can literally get a body pillow of anything in the world. Always let that be a reminder. And sometimes you can stare at hit his ass in too. Alright. Good discussion, guys. The ride never ends, guys. Make sure you enable those notifications to get the latest videos that are being posted on this channel. Make sure you guys check out VanCole40 for my Cardfight Vanguard channel. And join me and House of Champions on the Zodiac Duelist TV Twitch stream. We'll be interacting with our audiences. And please check out No Limit Gaming and LGTCG.com for the cheapest trading cards on the market. Thanks for watching, guys, and please have a good day.